Whoa, hey, I made another video. I don't have any other viewers yet. That's why I just do what I want. Okay, well, this song was a song I found on New Earth's channel. It's specifically her Atlantis / Lemuria Times Ruins Part 19, P19 / When the Survivors of Atlantis Wake Up. And I learned a lot on that video, so I always want to share it. But that music doesn't come up as a copyright, what do they call it, violation. So I play it because I like to spread the joy, and it helps me relax before coming onto the air, as you might say. Am I on the air now? Well, I'm live, and I have my little visual, so I can talk right on, and I can get right up into the microphone now. So I've got everything set up. I'm really at peace with this whole setup right now. I'm loving this. I've got 2 monitors, so I can see what's on my screen that I'm sharing with you. Austin, how are you doing? I can see my chatters. Thank you for Austin so much for joining me at this time. You make me so happy to arrive right now. I'm going to just have an open discussion this afternoon. It's Saturday. It's 2:45 p.m. I need to make sure that all my personal social media is turned off. What's that? That's line, right? Get that off. And what else should I turn off? I want to turn off Facebook, but I actually sometimes might want to go to the Facebook page. Hey, Austin, yeah, I am at peace. COVID-free Taiwan. But peace because my technology is all working right now. Getting the second monitor made a big difference. And I want to share my desktop, but I don't want to share everything. And so this makes it really easy. So music, I wanted to talk about this piece. This is another channel that does ancient history. I think you might know it, but this is also copyright and royalty free. It's a good piece, but I don't want to hear the whole thing, you know. But can you recognize the channel is the question. I'm not going to keep you waiting. It's Ancient Architects use this music. So it gets you all pumped up, right? Before he starts talking about ancient history. So I like that. He comes out right now speaking, "This is Ancient Architects." So he used that piece of music pretty good. I was doing a lot of copyright-free music. Oh, great. Thanks for telling me, Greg. Yeah, because I've got the microphone about 2 inches away from my mouth. So I don't want you to hear me spitting or popping. Yeah, and then the music in the background. I don't want to get copyright struck. So Portland Andy is live. Nice. Who's Portland Andy? Don't drive my customers away from me. I don't want to cry. Yeah, so this is good for future podcast broadcasts. I don't want to set up a webcam, but actually I finally got my 1-bedroom cleaned up to a point that I can live without clutter. It's cluttered. It's not cluttered. It's messy looking right now. Like the bed's not made. I threw a bunch of stuff on the bed, but I'm broadcasting from downtown Taipei. Like I said, it's Saturday afternoon, 2:47 p.m. There was a cold front. I'm starting this broadcast to say hello to all my friends around the world. I'm not really going to get into the ancient history. The name of this is Dhar, Tichitt, and Open Atlantis Discussion. It's in my recommend. Oh, no, I think that YouTube does that for you. It's in your recommend. I'm sub to him? Okay. On my screen. Oh, right there on my screen. Let me take a look. I don't see it now. Oh, down here? Portland Andy, call-in show. Let's watch it. Let's watch it right now. I'm sorry. Now I understand.
$2,400? What?
Oh, he's got a lot of chatters. I'm jealous. How many viewers? 150.
Yeah, but
150 and 26,000 subscribers. That's one reason why. He's got a nice... I thought I saw a fish. I guess there's a fish behind him. Yeah, I'm just... well, let me just get back to the peaceful... yeah, weird. Well, he's got himself an audience, doesn't he? And I need more subscribers. I really do. So that's why I'm getting the microphone set up so I can talk like this. I've got to reevaluate my channel, and I've got a lot of English ESL type videos. I want to move off the channel and just delete them. I need to look at the history of one specific video gets like $13 a year or something like that, which is, for me, it used to be like almost $10 a month this video used to get. I think maybe I should remove it and then put it up someplace else so all those people looking for it have to find it in the new channel. I think it's on somebody's random playlist, and that's why it's getting so much play. Or YouTube is just sharing that ad, which I should just throw a wrench in that because I'm tired of it. It's nice to have the income on this one video, but it's so weird. 3 likes, 2 likes on my end. Thank you. I should like it. And actually, I don't have to go to... I've got this studio streaming, and I've got... the chat is in the studio, but you have to understand how to use it with the encoder. Austin, you've told me a lot about... like, I guess Streamlabs is also an encoder, and you just start with Streamlabs, and it opens up your YouTube video. I probably should be doing that. I don't know if there's a Streamlabs for your desktop, but I should be doing that for at least my other channels. I'm not getting money. I get like $13 a month, maybe. That's what I am this month. I was down to like almost $10. So I'm not really worried about the money. I'm going to be putting my Bitcoin wallets down below. So if you really want to show me a good time, buy me a drink through a Bitcoin wallet. I'll do that in the future more. I don't really want to monetize that way. But it seems like once these people like Jimmy from Bright Insight or others monetize, they have to close down all forms of input. Like they don't... this Michael Tellinger is apparently hard to get a hold of. Prism is what most streamers are using to stream from YouTube. Let me turn this. There, that's better. Prism, huh? Maybe I should look that up right now. But I do want to get to the main topic. I don't want to keep my main viewers in okay, so Prism for YouTube. Opno. Prism Live Studio. Play Google apps. So it's an Android. Is this Android we're talking about? I needed that, right? I needed Android. So I'm kind of curious. I guess I can see the live. There definitely is a delay. And I'm wondering if you guys are chatting to my delay or if you guys are seeing it live. Probably the delay, so I have to start getting used to that. The title of this video is Dhar Tichitt. Let's get started a little bit, and you can talk about anything you want. Here's a couple of the things I wanted to show you. No, that's not it. That's not it. Where is this? This one is one of them, but I think there's another one back here. Earlier, I was showing this Ollie Buy video just today in another video, and one of the things that I can talk about is what is seen here in Africa, in North Africa, Morocco, basically. Here, it hasn't changed yet. I keep clicking, but it still won't change. There it is. Okay, so see that the word is Ibero-Maurusian. Now that word, I'll show you that word again here. Let's see what year it appears in mainstream history. Oh, we're 90,000. I guess I kind of overjumped it. 90,000. It's going to be more like after 13,000. Now, the Sengoan Empire pops up, and then later we get to... Oh, wow. I really went back far. Thank you for that, Austin. I'm checking out your comments. Thank you, Greg Brown, for your comment and joining. Okay, I see. I didn't even notice when that popped up, so I'm going to wait till it changes again before I go back. Okay, now it changed to Berbers. So Berbers is the name used for this area at 5700 BCE. And if I use a keyboard to hit the back arrow, it's 7300, 8900, 28. What? Why is it so much? It's just such a big jump, right? I'm going to use my space bar to grab it. Okay, right about there, 9,000. Maybe we can say 10,000. I don't know. Let's see, 30,000 to 10,000 so fast. Whoops, not yet. 11. Okay, so 10,000 BC, the Iberomor. Oh, now it's really clear. That's really clear right now. Okay, I can really read that. I couldn't read it when I screenshot it. Ibero-Maurutian. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because the Christopher Tolworthy video that I've been talking about for such a long time, and I think I put it right over here. I actually think I might play some of it. I'm stuttering. What's going on here? Now, what is this? This is talking about something else. So let's finish this thought first. And then that is over here in my other. There it is right there. This guy was kind of just doing videos for, I mean, if you check the other videos he has, Chris Tolworthy has like a cat video and some other random videos that are unrelated to anything. But this video, 23 minutes long, I discovered this like 2 years ago, and it was, let's watch it.
Let's get straight to the point. Atlantis is real history, but most people don't know it.
Okay, so the Neolithic Revolution, the rise and fall of Egypt, and more. Okay, I'm going to cough. I'm going to turn off the microphone.
So here's a short video on the history of Atlantis.
Okay, so then he's like giving this list, and the Ibero-Maurusians, which I just mentioned, he says are the equivalent of the Atlantes. So that's what Herodotus wrote, was the Atlantes, which is like a plural of Atlantis. Atlantia is in African south of Libya. Now, that's important because what he's going to point out, even in this video, is that the Tamanrasset River was probably the separation of Libya from Atlantis, and described as islands because they often did describe continents on one side or the other side of a river as an island. How are you doing, Austin? Thank you for the happy face. I need emotion. I need more emotion in my life. By the way, like I was trying to say earlier, I cleaned up this room, so I'm probably going to do a live stream of my room and show you around. I kind of want to paint a little more, but I think what I'll do is I'll do a quick video of it all messy on the walls, and then I'll fix it up and do another video, because I like to paint now, and I have a lot of paint. All right, now back to this. Richat structure is Atlantis. That's what he's on the Richat structure thing here, and he's got the Richat structure underneath this list. Island is 600 BC terminology that discusses one side of a river, one side of a river, like the Nile. It was one continent or one island, and the other side was another island. Flood, logical conclusion, Proto-Egyptians, and then he says Harifian Natufians. All right, you got the kids? All right, well, I'm going to talk for over an hour right now, so you definitely should tune out. Thank you for joining us, and I guess I've already sent you a care package, but did I put books in there? I was wondering if I sent you a copy of my books. I think I did. Something else that I should be trying to get. That is an actual book that I wrote 17 years ago about COVID in Taiwan, called SARS. I believe I did, but anyways, what is this? Where's my... Oh, there it is. I'm 15 minutes. Well, I'll miss you, Austin. I'm going to just focus on this history thing, but thank you for joining. And what is happening here with these videos, I just want to add, is that I make them in a live stream format where I record everything I'm saying, and then I can take this and I can reproduce it on my new channel, which there will be a link down below. And those will be the highly polished videos, the ones that I actually spend time producing. Yeah, and what was the title, Austin? It was not SARS, just sex. Another kind of inappropriate thing to be saying. It's not really... it's first of all, it's not pornographic, and it's not human sex trafficking. I'm not into sex slavery. I wrote that book about SARS, but because of a commercial that I had heard over and over again, which I explained in the book, but maybe next time, don't name your book Not Stars Just Sex. It gets kind of put into a certain category. But you can definitely read about SARS, and the first time it happened 17 years ago. I did my research for that book. So others can get that book on Amazon. All you got to do is put in my I should probably do it real quick. It's like a commercial, right? If I just put in gitsferrari.com. No, it's not going to work. There. No, that's Ferrari. It's gitsferrari, Gits. Let me just change that. Gitsferrari.com, and we can search that and find it and click on it. Now, what it does, you can see it goes right to Amazon.com. Gitsferrari.com goes to Amazon. You can see the books. They're here available. However, these are ebooks. And look at that. Sold by Amazon.com Services LLC. What the F? Really? Alerts and zero fees? Sync donations? Well, I'm not even trying to get donations. I want people to buy my merch here. I got these books. I've got... get people to subscribe to my channel. Let's get YouTube to pay me. You know, I don't want donations. I want you to get 20 friends to subscribe. That's what I want. And, you know, that's my problem because this channel, it's not really ancient history. It's a little bit of this. It's a lot of Taiwan. So because it's a lot of Taiwan, I definitely need to get these books. Yeah, see, let's get them big. See, this is why this book kind of got kicked off. I tried to get bookstores to sell this book, and I realized people automatically assume it's sex tourism or pornography. And it wasn't. I was just trying to get it to be kind of not clickbait. This is a real book. I mean, I guess the ebook. But look at this. Amazon.com is selling this. I need to delete this and repost it with my company name, which is White Monkey LLC. And that's BS that these guys took over the sales and they took over the pricing. Actually, I changed the price back, but you can get it for free if you have Kindle edition. Anyways, all right, I'm done with that. So back to this. I don't know if you're still with me. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely look into Prism, Austin. Thank you for bringing it up. And if you're still around later, please type it in the comments so I don't forget. Yeah, major donation sounds good to me. I need it. And that's why I'm going to do a live stream in this bedroom. Maybe I'll do the Prism first time bedroom live stream. And I'm going to make my bed and I'm going to mop the floor and make sure there's nothing on the ground and not paint because I want to show a before and after. I was thinking about fixing this room up and changing the shelving. I just got control of my life in here because I had so much clutter. It was like, okay, let's make one pile of clutter instead of another pile of clutter. That's my life. But now I finally got to a point that I still have a plan though, a shelving plan. I want to build some shelves, and it's going to be all you can take it apart again after I'm done with it, because this is not my place. So if I build shelving, the landlord will want me to remove it all before I leave. If I leave. So we'll see about that shelving idea. We'll do the before video. Alrighty. Thank you. See you. Yeah, I got to have more shared videos with people where they actually can get on here and talk live and do like a Skype conversations. I should have Skype working for me right now and have people pop on and talk. I'm at that point, right? I can do that. And I'm going to do it at this channel because it's all experimental because you can't trust YouTube for anything. Okay, we're going back to this video. Let's just watch it now because I talk so much. Let's just watch the video again.
It's based on archaeology that anybody can check and well-known ancient Greek texts that anytime.
Okay, let's go back.
So here to the point. Atlantis is real history, but most people don't know it. So here's a short video on the history of Atlantis. It's based on archaeology that anybody can check and well-known ancient Greek texts that anybody can read. Now this is just the quick version. For details, references, and image credits, visit answers.com/Atlantis.
Okay, so I think that's very important. I've been to that link before, and you can go there instead of watching the video. And I need to start using that link myself because I always have to go to his video and screenshot stuff. And sometimes these links have more information that are not in his video. So answers.com/Atlantis. That's him, not me.
History begins about 20,000 BC when the people of Atlantis arrive. Herodotus
Okay, so there he goes. 20,000 BC, the people of Atlantis arrive. He's going to tell us the story right here. Well, thank you there, Sean McGuire, who happens to be a mod of this channel. Yeah, what it is I'm actually playing somebody else's video. It's not my, so I'm not trying to take credit for this animation. This animation, yeah, is from Christopher Tolworthy's video. I'll show you later. I definitely gave him credit already. And he's a great, right? He's definitely got the knowledge. Listen to what he's telling us. I'm going to back it up just a bit.
Atlantis was the name of the mountains of Atlas. These are
Okay, one more time.
History begins about 20,000 BC when the people of Atlantis arrive. Herodotus said that Atlantis was the name of the mountains of Atlas, and of the people who lived there. Archaeologists now call them Ibero-Maurusians.
Okay, so there you go. There's a connection between Ibero-Maurusians. That's a modern-day archaeology terminology. Well, I definitely pushed this video. I pushed it, and by the way, I don't know if he's monetized. I got him monetized if he wants to be. He had no views. It was popping up in the recommended videos, but I had one video that was really hot, and I was trying to get more videos that were really hot virally. I was making $40 a day, and at that time I talked about this video a lot, and because of that, he suddenly kind of got he's got like 60,000 views. Maybe he would have gotten there without me. I'm not going to take all the credit, but we did talk, and he gave me permission to use his stuff. He didn't technically give me permission to play his video in my video, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to play the beginning here. So let's just finish it, and then I'll stop playing his video.
Pliny said that Atlantia was the old name for all of Africa south of Libya and Egypt.
What did he say? Now, that was interesting. I got to go back, and who said that? Not just Herodotus, but somebody else. And east and west was Ethiopia, which was Atlantia. Now, I got to hear this again. I'm going to back it up.
Atlantis.
We'll just start here.
History begins about 20,000 BC when the people of Atlantis arrive. Herodotus said that Atlantis was the name of the mountains of Atlas, and of the people who lived there. Archaeologists now call them Ibero-Maurusians. Pliny said...
Pliny? Not Plato, Pliny. Pliny said that there's this connection between Atlantia and the continent south of Libya. Now, you can see the Eye of Africa right there, and you can see that the river, the Tamanuset River, is not depicted here, but he's going to later show it. Also, what are we looking at with that little graph on the side? He's saying that the Sahara Desert was still a desert, is what he's saying. He was saying it was a desert, then it got green again, and then it became a desert again in our last 5,000 years. So listen to what he says there. That kind of goes against what I want to believe, but I also need to know the true facts. And I don't call this guy a mainstream historian. I'm talking about his video was spur of the moment. Yeah, I definitely, but what is he saying? I don't know how he did it. I really don't. I'm learning After Effects right now, and the animation that he's showing here seems like it was done with something as good as After Effects. Well, that's a funny thing. There's regarding the ocean, if the water levels did rise, they didn't seem to make the coastline recede very much, maybe a little bit, but it's not documented exactly how much it receded. I can imagine, and Graham Hancock says that the coastal ocean shelves are where we need to be looking, because that's where the civilizations met the water. They would, especially if they were seafaring. Let me just let this play so I can move on. I'm actually not going anywhere. I poured a big cup of coffee. I'm seeing the stream in one monitor. I've got two monitors up. That's the first. It's not a first. I'm back to it. I'm really happy. Very, very clear. And I have the microphone right by my face so I can talk softly and not scream. Here we go.
That Atlantia was the old name for all of Africa south of...
So Plena said this? Plenty? I don't know. I'm going to have to check that one.
Libya and Egypt.
So the word Ethiopia originally meant that which is south of Libya. That's like back in the day. Now Ethiopia is a country almost over there near Egypt, right? And it's like just south. I mean, it's kind of like they went from I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, let's just keep watching.
Now in 20,000 BC, when our history begins, the Sahara was even drier than it is today. But the mountains of Atlas were wetter. They were more fertile, so the people of Atlantis flourished. But in 8,700 BC, the younger Dryas event finally hit the Atlas Mountains. This was 1,000 years of drought. And suddenly, all the Ibero-Mauritian sites disappeared. But
this thing right here is the Ibero-Mauritian archaeology sites. Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya. And each color, the yellow color represents Morocco, the blue is Algeria. I don't know why the stuff south of that doesn't have a bar. Maybe the bar is quite short. But it seems like it's part of the blue. And then there's only one green, which is Tunisia. And then Libya has two or three. All right, what am I reading here? Okay, I'm going to read the comments while the video... Well, maybe I better not.
Where did they go? Hundreds of years later, we see them again, or some very...
Oh, there we go. I didn't really see the timeline at the bottom, 20,000 years. So one of those in Algeria is actually so much older, like it seems like it goes back 30,000 years. And the yellow ones in Morocco, those two of them, I know it's faded out a little bit, sorry about that. The one that's labeled Taior, Taiorite. Or is that a TAF? Taforite. It's the one that's, I don't know where the dot is. So we have to locate the dot. We've got all these yellow dots, red dots. I don't see the blue dots. Down here we see some red dots. Okay, well, since I don't understand it, I'm not going to hold everything up trying to figure it out. Let's just keep going. But he said they all disappeared. I'll back it up a little bit.
Similar people, where they go? And suddenly, all the Ibero-Mauritian sites... This was 1,000 years of drought. The younger Dryas event finally hit the Atlas Mountains. This was 1,000 years of drought. And suddenly, all the Ibero-Mauritian sites disappeared. But where did they go? Hundreds of years later, we see them again, or some very similar people, further towards Egypt. But what happened in between? Back in those days...
So, just to say, I'm not going to watch this whole video, but the Capsian, red, is from 8,000 BC. The yellow Ibero-Mauritian is 8,700 BC. Even older, right? So, the larger the number, the older.
9,000 BC, most people were nomads. They spent their time on the move.
Talking about nomads. They were nomads. Well, okay, so if there was a cataclysmic thing that blew up Atlantis, yeah, I think what would be left over is nomads. People running around, moving. Yeah. Let it play. Let it play. No, I'm not going to play the whole thing. Hold on. We're only a minute in anyways. I didn't want to go too deep, but yeah, I want to kind of learn a little more right now, so let's let it play. I'll just drink my coffee and I'll shut up.
So when there's a drought, you just keep moving. And
Nomads.
You come from mountains, or you love mountains.
I should ask though, can you hear that? Because I'm actually letting the speaker go into my microphone. Are you able to hear him speaking very clearly, Sean? Let me know how he sounds while I play it. And I'll maybe turn it up if it's not loud enough.
And you're experts at mountain living, so you look for more mountains. But mountains without a drought, obviously. So, like the mountains at the top of this map. Now, we can't prove that the Ibero-Maurusians reached Greece, but nomads can move a heck of a long way in 1,000 years. So it would be very surprising if they didn't. Or some of them. Now, the Ibero-Maurusians didn't like crossing the sea, so they followed the coast.
See, this is one thing, though. The Ibero-Maurusians didn't like to cross the sea, so they followed the coast. So that means that they could have, like, gotten to Italy very easily if they were... I mean, that doesn't sound like Atlanteans. It sounds like the reset people were, like, averse to boats. Atlantis was a seafaring nation. So what we're seeing is people who just got totally disconnected from the Atlantean culture, according to what we're hearing. This is kind of my synopsis. This says right here, 16,000 BC, which was the last glacial maximum before the Younger Dryas event. That's the solid line. I'm not seeing the solid line, but then the dotted line is today. I don't know what that means. All right, I'll let it play. Refugees indeed.
At first, it's just desert with the same kind of drought that they're running away from, so they'll keep going. And the first people they're going to meet are the people of the Nile. Around 9,000 BC, that's the Natufians, the Sibylians, and the Quadens.
He's talking about Egypt, right? Natufians, Quadens, and Sibylians. And by the way, I don't feel right to just play his videos, so I have to have points where I stop and give my commentary. And as you can see, the line goes all the way around, eventually to the Greece area, the Aegean Empire. What is that? But first they hit, his point is that they hit, I don't really know his point, to be honest. This is why I don't need to watch the whole video here. But this is a tribe. This is not really proving anything pre-Younger Dryas.
Archaeology shows that when the Ibero-Maurusians moved east, the Sibyllian culture and Quadan cultures both were wiped out. They ceased to be. They are dead, they are gone. This is not a good sign. And then
Well, what did that imply? That implied that this tribe killed them as they came through. I'm not sure what that means, but these tribal people, these Ibero-Maurusians, which it's kind of weird that they would say Ibero since they were not in the Iberian Peninsula, and Maurusian since it's not Maurusians. I don't know. I thought that said I was saying Maurasians, so I thought it was kind of Asians, but I guess I was wrong about that. It's just a weird name that this archaeologist gave them. He's calling them Atlantes now. He's not using that term Ibero-Maurusians.
Natufians, actually is a local group of Natufians called the Erythians. They had to flee. Now you have to understand that the Ibero-Maurusians were not like local people.
Yeah, I want to comment on this. This picture is not them, okay? This picture is because I talked to him about some of his pictures. And I asked Chris about some, not this picture specifically, but I asked him where he got some other pictures, and he said, I just looked it up online. So I assume what he did was he took like a tribe that he found online and kind of was using it to represent the Ibero-Maurusians. Now, I guess you could do a screen grab and maybe search this image, and if this does represent some... when did we have photography in the last 200 years? If this represents some Ibero-Maurusian tribe, I'd like to know it, but I don't really think it does. Okay, I'm done talking about that. Mauritanians. Yeah, good point. Maurusian. Yeah. It makes a very good point there, Sean. It makes a very good point. I think you just gave me a nice link right there. Is it? Okay. Anyways, I'm going to keep playing. I just wanted to comment on this photo.
They had different DNA. They were barely related at all. Even their skulls looked different. And they were expert hunters, whereas the local Natufians hardly ever used bows and arrows. So the Ibero-Maurusians were very, very scary. They appear one day, they want your land, they can kill you. They are the stuff that legends are made of. So this battle for land over the Younger Dryas, which by the way was the world's first ever war, is something that would never be.
He says it's the worst. The battle of the land during the Younger Dryas. Did he say, or after the Younger Dryas? Sounds like he's saying during. So I guess what we're looking at here is the outcasts of, like, it's not downtown concentric circles Atlantis we're talking about. We're talking about the people who lived in the lands and the mountains. You would think, you know what? I found some photographs. I'm going to take a break away from this video here and get back over to some other pictures that I wanted to show you. The name of this, and I got to open up the other browser, I guess. Where is it? It's kind of hard to find. Not that one. Not this one. This one? Not that one. This one? This one. This is kind of going back. We can see he shows that this appeared 10,000 years ago. So here's the Ibero-Maurusians one more time. I didn't really want to look at Ali Bai's video again too, but I did want to talk about a couple things. Just to get it out of the way, I guess I found another link in South Africa, Southern Africa, in Lesotho. Here, you have to go to my page to find it, but it's actually, that's technically outside Lesotho. That is South Africa. I'll just go all the way out so you can see it and then go back in. But what I think is crazy about this is that it still shows this kind of mining activity that I'm suspicious of, where they take this land and you've got this edge thing. And I mean, how many examples did I show you where there's one of these ancient road wall things? I can't call it a wall, but it's a road that's kind of went embedded into the rock. So a machine went back and forth over and over again and broke the rock, or maybe maybe we call it a road because it was for some machine that did this. But these lines, they go down the mountains, like once they have it, they just go down and then they go out. And is it cranes? Are they taking the dirt? Is this mining activity? Let me put it on. What happened? There we go. That's a nice view, a nice shot of the whole structure. I mean, it's a plateau, but the plateau is a plateau because the land around it got eaten away. This is Anunnaki gold mine action. But I'm not finding what Michael Tellinger was talking about. I've been looking for them. I found one, and I'm sure there's more, but I don't see a list or place where these are. So if you have this information, please put it in the comments below right now, where I should look for those, the ones in South Africa, the ones near Adam's calendar, or now called Enki's calendar. That's what I've heard. I don't know. Get Michael Tellinger on the phone. Call him directly. But this structure, it's in South Africa, and it looks like there was a mining operation where they scooped out chunks of the crust land, and that's why it's all gone. But if that's true, that means they did so much that we're seeing just 1% of what's left, and that's how much work they actually did. I don't know if I can believe it. I think we should zoom in, though. I think we should zoom in and watch that one more time, It's just so weird that this thing exists. What is it? What is it? It's like some type of ancient industrial site, some type of mining, where these machines took straight lines to get where they wanted to go, and maybe built little structures, walls with maybe I don't know. I don't know what to think, honestly. Just his speculation. Oh, Tellinger. Let me read what you wrote. I should read more of what you wrote. I think I'm missing some stuff. Let's go way back because you did do a lot of commenting. What's up? Very cool animation. We need to dredge the coast. I've seen that video. Oh, what a great little animation he did. Yeah, we can finish that video later. Mauritania, I think you taught me that. Millions of artifacts in the ocean. Yeah, but I think it's also covered with silt. And I do have a little comment about the desert. We'll go through that material next. But I wanted to show that structure that I'd found. It's just so easy to get lost in what that was. Prove to me that wasn't something that's modern day. Because that's definitely intelligent. I should just say mining. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on here, but I'm not seeing any of the little circles that Michael Tellinger was showing off at all. And I'm not saying I don't want to believe him. I'm just saying you definitely have something going on here where people would drive. I mean, it looks like a 4x4 track, but these tracks are 30 feet wide. They're 30 feet wide. And I think what they do is they dropped off dirt and made little hills with it or something. Here's another one. All right, that's a property line. I take that back. That's not another one. See, there's a modern day road. And on each side of the road they have a shoulder that they prepared so they could make the road. And so they smoothed out a place that was how wide? 30 yards? That's 30 meters, 33 meters, 30. I'm getting 32 meters, 32 and a half to cross that. Now you go over to these mountains and you see these paths that have been burned through there. That's modern day property line. I'm not going to say that's not. But you can see certain places that have like this. Between that mountain, there's been some type of an activity. People think it's ribbons of softer minerals that decayed faster. I don't know about a mineral that's going to do it that way, so straight. Whoops, sorry, that's the wrong tool. I want to measure this and say that's also 30 meters wide. Is that an ancient road somebody made? Maybe that's an ancient road somebody made 100 years ago. Sorry, then it's not ancient, but maybe it was 100 years old. But I don't think it's 100 years old when you see the plateaus decaying like they are. I think they must be at least 10, maybe 20,000 years old. All right, what's that? That's what's that, golf course? That looks like it was going to be a golf course, right? But then they kind of gave up. I don't know. That'd make a perfect golf course. Not really sure what that is. It really does look like a golf course to me. Anyways, something's going on there. Looks like some type of orchards. All right. And here's another line you can see there. Look at that. Here, was that where we were? Is that where we were? I don't even know if that's where we were. That's not where we were. Here's another one. See? You find them everywhere you go. Don't tell me this is natural stuff. This is unnatural. Is this the same place? Maybe it is the same place. You find these things all over the place. These eroded plateaus. I don't know if that's the same place or not, because I've seen so many of these places. All right. Let me get out of here. I should have kept reading. I got distracted. Okay, that's South Africa. That's South Africa. So now one of the things, okay. 400 feet, it sounds about right. Well, the thing that I'm kind of curious, though, is why is the coast of Mauritania unchanged? And you can compare it with the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. All right, let me just move on here. So I was going to show you some other stuff. This was one of them. It's called Dhar Tichitt. Dhar Tichitt. Dhar Tichitt is this ancient coastline right here. And if you need to see where we are, it's in Mauritania as well. Dhar Tichitt. Dhar Tichitt, actually, that's got a lot of information here. area, Dhar Tichitt, definitely had water, if that's what you meant. I think you're talking about something else. But, I mean, this is the thing. This coast, it looks like it didn't change, but you had a coast here. This was a coast at one point. There was water there. And that's the question. There was water there, but maybe that was too long ago. Who knows? There was water there. So I think that there was a big body of water. And this is just south of the eye. So under the sand, there's a lot of connecting canals. And this whole area, I believe, had canals. And the canals are so old that you see remnants that look like this, I think. I don't know. Because you see these canals over here in the richat structure. Yeah, right over here is what I was talking about. Maybe even these were canals. Because there's so many of them. I think that when you have this connecting little mountains, I think that this was like some neighborhood that had canals. This got just scrubbed from and I believe that if you don't know me, you don't know that I believe that this is an asteroid or a comet fragment strike right there. And if this was the concentric circles, you don't have any buildings after something like that. This is like the worst earthquake in the world. And that is a crater that got filled with sand from floods. Okay, moving on. Dhar Richat. This is from Dhar Richat. This is the thumbnail, isn't it? So this is in Dhar Richat. And I don't know if I found that on the map, but we found photos, and there's other photos. If you open up these photos, you can get into some cool stuff. I'm actually getting a little tired. What is it, 3:30 now? And I've got... see here. Oh, yeah, that's Facebook. This is something I found in... why did I post that? Okay, so I can close that. Check out these pictures. Let's go through them all. I'm going to go back to number 1. This is a little photo album of Dhar Richat. And this is going to save me a lot of time because this is what I think could be the ancient Anunnaki gold mines here when you see these things. What else could it be? I don't know. That's a little bit too close to be like the ones that Michael Tellinger showed. Let's see here. Hi, Zero. Yeah, I'm not still live. I came back because I'm at peace with the system here. Thank you, Zero, for coming back. So I'm just trying to get it out there. Exactly. Thank you. And so this is where I visited. I recognize that. I can take you there. But there's some here that I don't know about. And so I thought I'll just show these pictures and go through them. This is bmerkenswelt.de. Look at those little tiny ones. Now, those are definitely scrubbed away. And there's more. This is picture 6 out of 27. Too bad the zoom doesn't go in farther. It just zooms in slightly. So whatever, forget the zoom. And he doesn't really, he doesn't really have the links to these, but it doesn't matter because, they're so hard to see in Google Earth. It's... Now, somebody was saying that those are homes and those rings in the middle were fireplaces or for fireplace. It's kind of hard for me to believe that, and that was Tepe. Sorry, I don't really know if I can believe that too much. I mean, some of these structures are... Look at that one. That one looks like a Picasso face right there. But you've got, like, circles, and you've got, like... That's a wall, right? These are stone walls. If they weren't stone, they wouldn't exist. $6:30 p.m. in Australia? Really? I always get confused about that. I guess you are farther ahead than we are, aren't you? What city? Spelling errors. Spelling errors. All right, let's see here. Well, I don't know. This is the thing. I don't understand a connection. Like, if these are... not, if these are gold mines, and this is in Mauritania, so if you can prove to me these were houses, I'd like to see the evidence. But when you compare that to structures like this, I don't see the connection. I don't see the connection at all. Is that the original one that I showed you, or is that another one? Because they're all over the place. Look at, there's more there. There's these lines. I don't know. That's not so prominent. They all seem to have some connection with like a little crater, like maybe that. But you're not. Where's the circles? I don't see the circles anywhere here. Okay, I know where Adam's calendar is. I can show you where that is. First, I got to go north. And then I got to go up. Whoops, I got to put the countries in there so I can see. And just get the borders. And then we can go into Eswatini, right? Yeah, this is Eswatini. Now, I'm pretty sure this is Adam's calendar. I had to follow it. I didn't get a link. But up here you can see, so the top of Eswatini and the west side of Eswatini goes up here. And you can see right there is this nice thing, a big plateau. It's very beautiful, right? And just find the car parking where they have some cars. I think this is it right there. Because they have the thing you have to drive in. And wow, that's pretty clear. It's a lot bigger than I remember. Pretty sure that's it. Let me just back out a little bit and double check. I'm pretty sure that's it. Somebody has a fire over there. Where's the blue lines in this neighborhood? Any blue lines? Yeah, there's one over there. I'd like to check this neighborhood out. That's some big houses. I mean, I thought I found a few of those circles. So going back out, you still don't see Adam's calendar, which I believe is right down here. Pretty sure that's it. And so where near it is these so-called circles, you know, going east from there. Okay, maybe this is supposed to be, that's like right at the top of a hill. That's nice, but that's all modern day as far as I'm concerned. I've seen a few circles, but nothing major. That's some beautiful farming. Nice terracing. Now, there's been some discussion about ancient terracing. I feel like I found ancient terracing up in Lesotho Mountains. Whoops. Sorry about that. All right. Well, anyways, I didn't want to go back. Let's get back to Dhar Tichitt. Because I found these pictures here. Did we finish those pictures right here? There's a few more. I think we didn't get through all of them at all. What's that one? Yeah, when I see things like this, I also think ancient canals. You know, I don't really see, because a lot of those are plateaus in the middle of nowhere, and then they got this break through them, like definitely in ancient time, but so straight. All right, well, anyways, obviously it's not like a luxury land, but you can certainly, and he didn't really mention anything about canals or ancient canals, but you can find those too in the Dhar Tichitt area. Okay, we're almost done here. We'll go to the next one after this. This is the last one right there. So that's the first one. And the thing is, you've got that line going right in the middle, and it's what gets me is when you have a line in the mountain and then you've got the line in the flood basin that matches it. What's going on there? All right, that was the last one. So moving on, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. See if I can make it bigger. So I think we all know, and this is my search, the Amazon nutrients came from the Sahara Desert. We have modern scientists have been like NASA, right? Because you can trust NASA. This is Africa, and the nutrients have been blowing to the Amazon. It says fallen, decomposing leaves and organic matter provide the majority of nutrients, which are rapidly absorbed by plants and trees after entering the soil. The phosphorus that reaches Amazon soils from Saharan dust, an estimated 22,000 tons per year, is about the same amount as that lost from rain and flooding. Okay, so that's the NASA. I don't know. Do we believe this? Well, what about what's his name? Oh, yeah. And by the way, I found these pictures. Look at these nice. I like that picture. Are these ancient? I don't know where that is. I have to look that up. Oh, this is not supposed to be large. This is supposed to be small. Okay, I wanted to show that. That should have been back there. And the point I was going to make was it looks awfully sandy, right? It's so sandy. And it's like they have nothing but sand left over. All these nutrients. And it's like we're talking about things that are smaller than sand. Things that are smaller than sand, according to the scientists here, they're saying are supposed to have gone through the atmosphere to Amazon. Well, maybe that was part of the original plan. If that's true, I'm not saying it's not true, but it says... You can see the video that they put up where they're tracking the dust, apparently. Tracking the dust that moved to the Amazon. Here's the evidence right here. But it doesn't look like it's hitting the Amazon. Anyways, they're trying to say that that's one of the reasons why it's a desert. Actually, I have to be honest, I haven't listened to this. So, anyways, okay, I'll listen to it later. Okay, let's listen to the very first part of it.
NASA scientists have performed the first multi-year study using satellite data to measure the 3D distribution of dust that travels from the Sahara Desert to the Amazon rainforest. The Sahara is the world's largest desert. At more than 3 million square miles, it's almost the size of the continental United States. Each year, Saharan dust is lifted from the ground and transported by winds on a 3,000-mile journey across the Atlantic Ocean. A portion of the dust collects in the Amazon basin.
Yeah, see, a portion of it, whatever. Yeah, and what about Tara Preda? The so-called man-made Amazonian fertilizer, Amazonian dark earth, ADE, also known as Tara Preda. Now, I first learned about this from Greg Hancock in his book, America Before. So I want to know more about this. It says black soil in Portuguese, Terra Preta. Preta means black? Okay, I did not know that. In Portuguese. Is highly fertile, ancient man-made soil. So they stick in this man-made attribute. So this Terra Preta is all over the Amazon. It's a man-made soil. What does that mean, and how deep does it go? What's this picture? What's this picture? I mean, what makes that Amazonian dark earth? What is it, and how do you make it? Okay, first of all, that's bad English. Why don't we still read this, because I'm kind of curious. Amazonian dark earth, also known as Terra Preta, is highly fertile, ancient, man-made soil found in areas of the Amazon basin inhabited by humans. They are so fertile, scientists have been researching them in hope of recreating the long-lost recipe for use in today's agricultural soils. Some scientists are beginning to think it will take hundreds of years to fully create new ADE. Hundreds of years. Yeah, so this stuff's supposed to be old, right? And how do they do it? Obviously, they figure out where the dust is going. And they probably knew that Africa emits its dust to the Amazon and said, well, let's do it here where it automatically gets fertilized. In this controversial blog, Tony disagrees. He thinks our ancestors achieved growth success within a growing season, and so can we. You better read on. If you want to convert your soil to Terra Preta, jump to our SF60 page. If you want to make your own Amazonian dark earth, starting with compost waste, jump to our compost humidification agent page. Okay, whatever. So that's a picture, the typical forest soil on the left, and the black super fertile soil on the right. All right, well, that's interesting. But not going to talk about that anymore. I want to move on. How old is Terra Preta? That was a question I asked. And apparently it's 7,000 years old. the use of biochar. Okay, that's something somebody taught me. I didn't. Who told me about biochar? That's in one of my comments. Who was that? The use of biochar, or black carbon, as a soil amendment has received increased attention since the discovery of the Terra Preda de Indio soils, approximately 7,000-year-old anthropogenic influence soils in the Amazon. Terra Preda, an overview. All right, so that's from Science Direct, so you know it's not junk news. There's also the Wikipedia page. It's talking about 450 BCE. Those dates, I think, are not at 7,000 years old. Terra Preda, literally black soil in Portuguese, is a type of very dark, fertile, artificial, anthropogenic soil found in the Amazon basin. It is also known as Amazonian dark earth or Indian black earth. In Portuguese, its full name is Terra Preda do Indio, or Terra Preda de Indio, black soil of the Indian, or Indian's black earth. Terra Mulata, mulatto earth, is lighter or brownish in color. Homemade Terra Preda with charcoal pieces indicated using white arrows. Okay, so I guess they actually added charcoal pieces into the soil. That's how they do it. Biochar. And by the way, I mean, burning down forest or jungle was something that I saw when I was in Guatemala. They always lit their stuff on fire and let it burn to kind of reset the earth. Okay, moving on. I was going to get into some other stuff. Open Atlantis discussion. Terra Preda, that's not, that could be Atlantis, right? That could be Atlantis. This is that. I think I'm showing you the wrong stuff here. What is this? This is it? I didn't close this stuff. Okay, well, I think I'm at the end of my line here with stuff I was going to show you. Oh, I shouldn't be looking. That's more personal anyways. Ollie buys History of the World every year. Clovis and Iberomaurusians are both predominant. Clovis, of course, is the controversial Clovis first theory. All right. That's done. I had that comment down here I was looking at, but that was my last video. I think I'm done with that. This guy was talking about Dhar Tichitt, a known Neolithic site. What is a Neolithic site? I mean, Neolithic, that is definitely a word that people keep throwing around, but I got to look it up to make sure I know exactly what they're trying to say by saying a Neolithic site. You have Neolithic Era, definition, revolution, art, meaning in Hindi, and tools. I mean, let's look at Neolithic Era. When was the Neolithic period? The starting point of the Neolithic period is much debated, as different parts of the world achieved the Neolithic stage at different times. But it is generally thought to have occurred sometime about 10,000 BC. So what is the Neolithic stage? The Neolithic, the final division of the Stone Age, began about 12,000 years ago when the first developments of farming appeared in the Epipaleolithic Near East and later in other parts of the world. Of course, I've seen Bright Insights videos on Atlantis. That's what got me to take another look at the richat structure. No, I'm definitely here because of Bright. I mean, I'm not here because of that. But if you look at when that video came out and why I saw it, I don't remember. I think maybe I just saw it. I was looking for Atlantis. No, what? No, I can't remember. See, I was looking for answers before that video came out, and I did a couple of videos. It was mainly on the ancient machining that you saw from Brian Forrester, and that's kind of how I got thrown into the Bright Insight videos, because he was doing some stuff in Egypt, and then he went to Egypt just last month, right? He was just there. And he was there with Uncharted X, and he was there. And then now Uncharted X just did a video with Randall Carlson and his team discussing the trip. Yeah, that's it. Well, let's just say that I reached out to him on Instagram and I gave him some screenshots that I thought could help him the most. And I looked later, I can look right now to see if he saw those screenshots. I think it's right here, right? Instagram. And yeah, there. I don't see any sign here that he saw those. I'd be curious if you could tell me from, I don't do Instagram, so I really don't know if he necessarily saw these. What I gave to him was my feeling that the richat was hit by an asteroid right here. Now, this is something that I've been saying for a long time. Wouldn't this be more likely? And I threw some mountains in there to complete the ring. But what you get in real life is a big crater there. It's actually more of a perfect circle than that. That shows topographic altitude, right? But what's happening up here is these alluvial fans at the top are distorting the disc or the circle that you would get. Well, you know there's a guy that did a video about Brian Forrester saying why Brian Forrester is wrong about he used in his title the Lebanon, what's the name of the rocks in Lebanon? It's pretty easy to find, I think, but I talked to Brian Forrester about it and said this guy I just told him, if you're not aware, some guy made a video. And I showed him a screenshot, and then we started talking about Michael Tellinger. And I was going to ask Brian Forrester to contact him for me, but I decided I don't really like to bug these guys. He's a very busy guy. And if I ask anything, he might even block me. So I'm not going to try to push my luck. I sent these to Bright Insight. What's this? I don't know why that's the topographic location. So I don't even know if I wanted to send him that. I think I'll unsend that. Instead, I do this, the pictures that I produced. So this is showing the same thing. Kind of. I like this picture. This picture is nice. I wish I could make it bigger. This is a really cool one because it actually shows that floodplain right there very, very solidly. It's getting smaller as I get bigger. That's as big as I'm going to get it right there. That's nice. So that really shows it right there. But I don't really agree that you have a river running through it like that. That's a little bizarre to me. If that's true, I have a hard time believing that. And when you go there yourself to this en-us.topographic-map.com to get here, you definitely have to change the layer to get those lines. Without that, it's not going to show you this stuff. But it actually highlights it very nicely. Well, I think the impact happened. Let's just say I think an impact happened right here. Now there was a string of pearls in this neighborhood. There were about 4 impacts, but this one right here was filled with water and it destroyed the mountains that were here. If that was Poseidon's temple right there, as Plato wrote, and I believe that this was I don't know. If you wanted to add up, you can simply just count this middle mountain as the center, and then it'll actually be the same size as Plato said. But what I always assumed was that this whole ring, this with the missing part, this whole ring was part of the center island, and that would mean that, according to what people say, that the temple was about where the castle's located. And there are some artifacts there. There's some ancient sites there that were not visited by a alternative world media or that other guy, Indie Architect on YouTube. They both went there. They met in the center on their video. They met. But the truth is, nobody went over here. Nobody looked at the Stonehenge over here or out here. Actually, I don't even remember how far out. This looks like it's a body of water, but I've never seen water there. But this is not a body of water either. See, they make it look like marshland over here, which is also not really water. It's just sand, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I should probably look at that more closely before I talk, but I'm pretty sure it's not a big old swamp. But here you can see very clearly the mountains are missing. And I have something that'll kind of open up the next part of this whole thing, which is right here. Let's just go into and find my pictures, which are here. And instead of, see, I have these same pictures. The one thing that I have to find it. I mentioned string of pearls is this one. And there's actually one more crater right over here. It's actually over here. I don't want to say these are not in line here. Let me make it bigger so you can see it. But they're measuring it from the Richat crater that's up here, and then the Tenemor. It is almost a perfect line. I don't know if it's that perfect. I don't think so. And this is definitely not satellite images NASA. I don't know who made this. Okay, so what can you get from this? They're saying that there's a line here that connects these three dots. Now, I say that this whole Richat structure was never a crater, but the one that I pointed at is. So we have three craters. They're all about the same width. Tenemor is about 2 kilometers wide. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, it's 4, but I think that's 2. This circle down here, that's also 2. I don't remember what this is. We can always go visit it. Richat's crater. There's also a couple of other craters over here, and it's not quite the perfect line. And maybe they're not quite the perfect age match. I don't know how you date that stuff. Forgotten which source? Tamworth. I'm losing. I gotta go back. There's so much commenting going on. Get it out there. Thank you, Zero. I don't know if Zero's still with us. He didn't speak. Greg Brown, Oz, Greg Brown, Tamworth. Okay, I see. And then later, I mean, you must have paused the video. Lightly encrusted in salt to 200 feet and cleaned in the 1700s. Do you think they cleaned it in the 1700s from salt? What did they do? They took the salt off of it? I don't know about that one. I don't know if I believe that the pyramids were underwater. I believe that maybe they were flooded and reached the base of the pyramids once. I kind of think that was like a 100-year event. I don't know what to believe on all that. I'm really sorry. It's important to try to... Oh yeah, that's right, Baalbek. That's correct. And that's what the video was. It was why Brian Forrest is wrong about Baalbek. And it was like an hour video. I did watch the whole thing, and he was attacking his reference towards columns in general, and the fact that Rome had lots of columns. Okay, and he was attacking the idea that these columns were too big to transport. The Baalbek thing, that was a more of a, not quite a column, right? But sorry, what is it called? The Washington Monument is what is that thing called? Let me make sure I'm at the bottom so I can see your most recent chats. Okay, let me read your comments for a bit. Let me turn on some music while I do that. Okay, I can't go that high. The bedrock. Okay, I'm not sure what you're... And the a man-made part got destroyed. Okay, the man-made part. What is that? That's the sprig, the deepest spot, the kill shot. Looks more like a border. Okay, I'm not sure exactly what you're referencing when you say that part, what looks like it was man-made, because I kept flashing I don't think you're talking about South Africa anymore. You're talking about the richat structure. Yes, Plato did say it was a natural formation worked by man. I made reference to that. I've got that right here. I'm happy to open that up, and I'll grab it over here where you can't see it, and when I have it, I'll move it over. Because I do have a copy of Timaeus and Critias that I dissected. I wanted to get into that. I'm not seeing it yet. Where is it? There it is. I think this is it. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter. But down below, I started to get into. This is Critias, right? Or is it? Yeah. This is what I believe is the first one. Pretty sure. The other one doesn't really get too deep on Atlantis. So this is the beginning of the Atlantis part, when Athens they're finished talking about Athens and they start talking about Atlantis. And those are the names of all the brothers and I don't guess sisters, the twins of Poseidon, and his twin brother Gades. Gades is Cadiz, Spain, right? Now called the region of Gades, or Spain, towards the Pillars of Hercules. Actually, it's beyond the Pillars of Hercules a little bit. Okay, we're talking about that metal, the gold, the special metal they were made. I'm just going to move down to where they mention exactly what we were talking about, which is way down here. The circular ditch, it says right there, I will now describe the plain as it was fashioned by nature and by the labors of many generations of kings through the long ages. Now it is true, it's not really talking about the concentric circles. But I believe that it does say that about the concentric circles made by the hands of man. I think you're right. You said made by the hands of man. Maybe that's exactly what it said. And gave the impression that a work of such extent, in addition to so many others, could never have been artificial. And he's talking about the circular ditch. And see, that's the thing. The circular ditch, I got confused about that because I wasn't sure. But what it means is this concentric circle that's the outermost of all the concentric circles. But they're also connected to this level plane. And I think we see is a lot was created. Each of the lots in the plane had to find a leader. So where's these lots? Straight canals of 100 feet in width were cut from it through the plane and again led off into the ditch, leading. Okay, so that's where I'm getting this from. The ditch, the circular ditch, was surrounding the concentric circles. And straight canals, 100 feet in width, were cut from through the plain and led off into the ditch, leading to the sea. These canals were at intervals of 100 stadia each. Every 100 stadia was one of these 100-foot wide canals. I'm sorry, that's too small. I should probably enlarge that, shouldn't I? So this would be better for you, right? Oops, I missed the trash. Oh, well. So a square of 10 stadia each way was one lot. And the total number of all the lots were 60,000 of them. So if you take this and you kind of sketch it out, you're getting an area that's about 2,000 kilometers perimeter. 2,000. It's like 400 kilometers by 600 kilometers. So it's a very, very, sorry, what did I just say? 400 kilometers by 600 kilometers. That's the height and the width. That's the grid. And it's a rectangle of about 2,000 kilometers. So the internal is like I forgot what that adds up to. 400 times 600. What's 400 times 600? 400 times 600 equals 240,000 square kilometers. And it talks about the people who lived in these lots. They say 1,200 ships. That actually seems like a small number to me. That's the army. Okay, so, yeah, I should probably go through this again and see if I can get anything. They're talking about the arrangement of the offices and honors. So that is kind of, you can get more data from there. This is the areas that I didn't really dissect too much because it wasn't really, and then that's the end. This is the beginning of the end, and this is why I'm surprised. It must be written after Timaeus as opposed to before. I mean, we lost this. We don't have this last part. Okay, I got to go back to the live streaming. All right, let me see. Yeah, you type a lot. It's cool, though. I like the chats. Thanks for chatting. I think the original Atlanteans mobbed up in the impact and then worked into a city. The Atlanteans found what I'm saying is that they found that the impact and built it up. And okay, you're talking about the whole structure. I don't think it's an impact. I think if anything, it's an electronic Carrington event, an electric universe Carrington event. I mean, the ripples and the circle. If you look at it, it's just too big. I mean, it's too big to be a crater even. I guess, first of all, if it is a crater, then it must have filled in with sand because a crater would be an empty area. Let me just go to a new... I have got some photos, some images in here that kind of talk about that. Let's close this and go here and see if we can find those photos. This is what I think it is. This is a lightning strike on a car. And this lightning strike used a certain frequency and vibration that was encoded in the electricity. Now, if Poseidon had, or like Zeus had the power of electricity, or maybe some type of a hello. I'm going to definitely read your comments one more time, but let me finish my thing here. This circle, this disc, I believe, was... I don't understand how it could be so perfect and round and made by man and taken out of the ground like that. Where's that other picture I was going to show you? I mean, here's another topographical map that I kind of like, and I want to use it as for my comments. I don't know who drew this, but what you're seeing here, and by the way, that really clearly shows the so-called anomaly by Randall Carlson. He wasn't really willing to admit that there was some mountains missing here, and I guess mainstream architecture doesn't really support it, but what I was going to zoom out of a little bit and talk about was this huge area is such a perfect... I mean, come on, this was such a perfect circle, but then it's had years and years to decay or something got washed away. Maybe it was tighter and closer, or maybe it was... I mean, this is a shoreline right here, and you have several shorelines in some points, so you can't say that the spring... What is the spring? Oh, the spring in the middle? Okay, now I'm going to read what you wrote. They found the impact and fixed it up. You're talking about the whole thing, right? You think the whole thing was an impact. The outside circles... Well, the lots, I believe, are... This is too small to 25,000 kilometers. This is 25 miles across, right? I used to say 50, but I was wrong. This is 25 miles across. Okay, let's go to the big map, the one that I just opened. Where is it? This is not it. Let's just go to Google Maps. This is pretty much it right here. I mean, I'm talking about this whole area here being... Let's get rid of that and enlarge it a little bit. Get it nice and large. By the way, somebody was talking about this at the Reddit, and I never really got into it. They're thinking this is the river that led to Atlantis. Yeah, Yeah. That's man-made. Over the years, the ages, I'm sure that water helped a lot, part of it. That's 70 kilometers long. And then it leads up to these, I'm sorry about the nasal snorts. These canals are 20 miles long each, and they're parallel to one another. What's going on there? And you can see it kept going up right along the cliff. It's kept going up. I mean, that's a canal right there. That's an ancient canal. And it's going up. You know, who cut that? You think that's natural? It's perfectly straight, and it's parallel to this one over here, which I lost. But what I say is take a look at the whole thing. I mean, this is a big, huge... If that is a crater, where's the ridge? Why is there a big dome in the middle? If that's dome geology, which they're saying it is, what happened to all the pieces of... Can I make a 24,000 kilometer box over the eye? I've done it in my previous videos. I did it in this video. I'll show you the video so you can kind of look at my logic. Going here to my... maybe we better go to my... We're talking about some pretty old stuff. I think that I did it in the Randall Carlson is wrong about Atlantis video here. This one actually kind of had those rectangles.
First,
I highly respect Randall Carlson. Okay, so that's what I said first, but then we can zoom in and we can see those. Let's make it bigger. I'm making those rectangles right here. I'm gonna just kind of, there they are. They start here. There's the 400.
A little more to about 600 kilometers in the perpendicular direction, and it created a perimeter of about 2,000 kilometers, maybe more. So when you take a look,
and as you can see, I calculated correctly. That's showing 238,000. That's, say, 240,000 square kilometers. So this is the Azores. And my argument here was you can't see you can see too many of these ancient striations. These are the lines that are going across the Atlantic from the mid-Atlantic trench show that there would have been, well, the kind of evidence, especially up here, that there was no place for a plane. There's mountains here, but they're all under the water. So I don't even see how anybody can think the Azores was Atlantis. But I put that rectangle other places. I'll let you watch.
Look at this rectangle, and you put it on top of your Azores Islands, or you put it on top of your underwater plateaus, which you discuss in your recent videos. You still don't see these ancient million-year striations coming from the mid-Atlantic ridge, or suture, as Randall put it. There's no place that a southern plain could have collapsed into the ocean. That would have been 20 to 50,000 years old, whereas the striations you see under the Atlantic Ocean are millions of years old. So there's no way that they would just disappear on top of those. Here you see a big area that could have been the southern plain. And whether or not you start here and put the eye in the middle.
Okay, so that's what you asked for, right? Here the perimeter is 2,098 kilometers around. So it's about 400 by 600. And the total is 240,000. Definitely places. Now, I did move it.
Middle, or you start at the eye.
You can do it like that. That's a little bigger. No, that's the same size, right? So I don't even know what they're talking about. Now, the Tamanrasset River did not go. It went over this little hook right there, according to science.
And have a southern plain, as Plato described. You still see a lot of residual things in this whole area. Okay,
so no, if you're not aware, there is a grid out there in the ocean that you can find, and that's actually such a small grid. It's like 680 kilometers perimeter. So 680 kilometers is a lot different from 2,000. And so, I mean, I'm just saying, I thought about this grid. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can pretty much see it.
Atlantic grid also doesn't meet the Plato requirements. Even Spain has...
Okay, there's the rectangle over Spain. I mean, anybody who says that Plato's Atlantis was Spain is crazy. Because there's no canals that you can find that would have been going across this whole country. And it's mountain covered. It's not a level plain at all. Plato said level plain. And there was some argument about this area near what was part of Atlantis. Yes, this was Atlantis. It's just not the concentric circles, and it definitely wasn't the level plain.
Has a bit of a problem when it comes to being the...
Okay, I don't need to listen to myself, but we'll let it play, and I can talk about it again while it's going. So, is it going? It's not going. It's going. I'm talking here, and it's about to change very quickly. It's going to change. So this is my, because I'm talking about this again, that it was the region of Gadiz or Cadiz. And it's so mountain covered. I need to watch this whole thing. Let's see if anything else comes up. I think the next point is that, the Divers Islands part. See, this is another reason why Azores doesn't add up to me, because they make reference of Divers Islands. So when we talk about Divers Islands compared to the island of Atlantis, well, what's the difference? Obviously, the Divers Islands were islands that were out in the ocean, out where divers would be hanging out. And he says that it even reaches the Tyrrhenian Sea, so it includes this northern part of Africa. I mean, people ignore this. I don't understand it at all. This is a good map that kind of shows the Herodotus thesis. And it actually shows Atlantis Mountains are separate from the Atlanteans, and down where so-called Ethiopians, that was where so-called Atlantia was located, south of Libya, south of the Nile. I mean, they don't really say it much, but apparently the Nile separated Libya and Ethiopia. That might be why Ethiopia is where it is today. I don't know, and I don't want to guess. Well, regarding the Inland Sea, I've shown you some maps about that as well. I think I'm pretty much done here. I don't know where to go next. So I probably could start to think about closing this down. It's been 90 minutes. I wanted to do another one. It has been 90 minutes. So I probably should start to get out of here and try to do one more thing with my day before 5. It's 3:30 now. No, it's 4. It's 4:16. Whoops. See, I really have blown my day going through all this stuff. What happened to all this material? Where did it go? Is it the sand? No, the sand blew in there. So before the sand blew in there or went in there or washed in there, there was water out, and it created this flood. It created this. This is a shoreline. What's that? That's interesting, right? Well, you probably call those burial mounds. But they're definitely old. They're younger than that. So I think that what we had was a catastrophic. There's another shoreline there. So we had times and periods of time where this water just got smaller and smaller. That's probably a younger shoreline than this one. I would assume that the top shoreline is the oldest. That's going around the so-called circular ditch that Plato wrote about. Was that a canal? Were these all canals? 1, 2, 3, 4. They got filled with sand by a major flood. You say, I'm reading, you said, I think the Sahara was an inland sea. Well, if that's true, then, wow, is that water right there? That looks like water. That's not water, is it? Nah. It's just dry sand. That looks like water too. All right, guys. I think I got hungry, so I'm going to get out of here and go eat something. It's dinner time. That's also an ancient shoreline right there. You have 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. I would say the tall one is the oldest one. And this thing, we've talked about it so many times. This arc, Michel's arc. And when I first talked about the circular ditch, I thought it was circular, meaning it was a rounded ditch. Because I don't really believe that the term circular means it's a circle. It surrounds. But, I mean, if anything's circular, it's this, right? It's a circular ditch is here. But how can they call it a ditch if it's full of water? So I just don't know. Something's missing. It's all missing. Nothing's there. I'm going to start closing this down. Thank you for joining me, Sean. Well, the Mediterranean, when you look at the Mediterranean, you see, especially this area, I mean, if you're going to try to look in here, and if there's been any increase in water levels, and it's happening here, you definitely want to check. But here's the problem. When you zoom in, what happens to this whole area? I mean, what is that? What is going on there? Feel like they're joking, right? They're kidding. They're joking. That's a joke. Because when you zoom out, you're like, oh, look, they use their artificial computer thing they kind of show the texture of the Mediterranean Sea. Like, we kind of know what's going on with a few scans, like data from certain scans that they kept in there just because they didn't want to, I don't know, couldn't they have removed that scan? I mean, if that's what they argue it is. Why did they leave that? So you've got a scan, you can get closer and get a little bit more detail of what it looks like. But these scans leave some type of a flaw. And it's like, okay, well, here's the real picture here, right? Because we see along the shorelines, we can see real photographs of the water that touch the land. But when you go here and you go looking for that real photograph, you see right away, right next to the ocean even, you get different pictures. But what's with this picture? Why would they include that? Why is that even there? What are they stopping you from seeing down there? It's like, we're going to use this picture, which was obviously connected, or is that connected? Or is that computer fakery? I mean, it looks like the water is really shiny, but I don't know. I don't know if you can call that water. So, Sean, I don't know what we can say about that. There's obviously something under here that we're not supposed to be seeing by the powers that be. Sure, you're going to see these boats. Here's some pictures of some boats on the water here. There's another one. What is that, a cargo ship? That's nice. So we can follow this. What? Oh, no, we get like 3 other pictures overlapping it. I don't understand what's going on here. What is going on? Where are we? Why we're seeing this? Look at that one. What's that? That looks like it's some kind of a paint program did that. And this is the area in Spain where you can find a lot of other stuff going on here. I know somebody who's combed through this area. Why are you seeing these pictures like this? What's these lines and why are they being... Why are we seeing them? It's fakery. All fakery. Well, guys, I think I'm out of here. I got to go get something to eat. And, that's a good question about the... What do you call that? Strait of Gibraltar? Or the Pillars of Hercules? Which is what I grew up calling them, and then people are trying to say, no, the Pillars of Hercules are Santorini. That's like, what? And I've heard the Pillars of Hercules are Tyrrhenia. They were over here. The Pillars of Hercules were right here, and there was an ancient ocean. And yeah, maybe there was an ancient ocean, but that's weird. What is that? That's very weird, right? That's very weird. That looks like it was an ancient ocean to me. Looks like it was something to be researched. Yeah, I agree. Peace out, Sean. Peace out. Just too much information to handle. I mean, this was also, according to Plato, this was also Atlantis. So it was also those same Atlanteans that attacked Athens. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those. They've got mountain ridges. That is a big old bay. That's a big old bay. So maybe there was some truth to this, but I don't think so. So this would be the original Rock of Gibraltar right there. What's that? Look at those dots. Yeah, look at that. Somebody wanted to grow some trees. Are those trees? Those are orchards, huh? They're everywhere over here. I could just do this all day long. And, if I were more popular, I might just leave it going and get some food and come back. But I'm not going to make people crazy. Yep. Tyrrhenia. Right? It's right over here, if I'm not mistaken. It's on this island. Tyrrhenia? Is it down here? No, am I wrong about where it is? Tyrrhenian Sea is there, but I thought the Tyrrhenia, the city of Tyrrhenia was over here somewhere. All right. Well, this is fun, guys. It's big, 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 big. Earth is big. And what does it all mean for you and me? What do you have to do with your life? Does that mean you should quit your job? I don't know. It means be happy. Don't tolerate slavery conditions from the corporate man. Be happy and spend your life the way you want it, right? That's what it's all about. Well, I think that, I hear you, and I think that this is the best one for that 240,000. I mean, no other area, right? And I talked about this. You can see these ancient lines. Well, actually, this is funny. This is a lot clearer than it used to be. Let's go into this and check it out. This is like some type of an ancient dam or road that goes through that. I call it the fish. It's like a little goldfish. And near the little goldfish, just south of it, you can zoom in and you can see these ancient lines going underneath the sand dunes. So I do believe that you had some type of activity. I believe this is probably your level plain, 240,000 kilometers. I mean, it's not going to be a perfect rectangle, but for some reason, these lines are out here. Are they canals? Are they flat? Why are they there? Why are they under 1,000 feet of sand? And they go, you can see them underneath these sand dunes peeking out. There's another one right there. So you've got these structures going across the Sahara. By the way, look at that. That looks just like the mountains that are in South Africa right there, to be honest. But then here, yeah, I never thought about it that way. I never thought about it that way at all. Okay, that's interesting though. Look at that. You can even see some residual issue with the sand dune trying to cover that up. And you can go and see it under there. It pops back out underneath 1,000 feet of sand. Keeps going up. And these are everywhere. You can go to the Tudini Mountains. You can check out the prison that was up there. Look at that one. That's an interesting one. Where's the Tudini prison at? Well, anyways, I'm just killing time, guys. Y'all have fun. I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me if you have. Yeah, and down here, this is a good one right here too. Where is it? I'm getting my crackly speaker again. What is up with that crackly speaker? It's time to... There's something that I was going to show you here, but it doesn't really matter. It's not it. This is actually Timbuktu. Oh, this is the one right here. Look at this place. How'd you like to live there? Talk about dusty, huh? I was going to show you this before, but yeah. And this city here, how'd you like to live there? What do you think they do for fun? Drink water? Look at this. Is that the mosque? What's that building over there? That looks like an old building right there. Timbuktu. Look at all these round buildings over here. It's not really Timbuktu. It's nearby Timbuktu. I was talking about Dhar, Tichitt, this place I didn't show you. So there's a lot of stuff going on over here. Lots of things to see. All right. Georgia Redmud, thank you for joining me. Thank you. I guess that you're here at the tail end. Yeah, they have no idea about computers. You think they have a computer in their house? Well, there's technology leapfrogging. There's got to be... The question is, do they have 4G or not? Look at that place. That looks kind of cool. That looks like basically palm trees, right? Not date palms, palm oil trees, probably. Or maybe just palm trees. It's an oasis. What's that? That's pretty. Some type of a flower. It looks like for sure it was a flower. That's a lake. Is that water right there? What's going on here? That's bizarre. This is the border between Mali and Mauritania. Wait, am I wrong? Yeah, Mali and Mauritania. Mali hooks on the south end of it too, so this is also Mali, where slavery is still legal, right? You're talking about a place. Look at this. Is that the same type of structures we used to see down south? I gotta look at this. All right. Guys, I am going to get out of here. 330 what? I've only been on for 90 minutes. I'm actually going towards 2 hours. Let's go forward to the 2 hours. What time is it? It's 4:30. Okay. So 10 more minutes and then I'm done. 10 more minutes, I'm done. Because I saw Georgia Redmud and I'm like, Georgia Redmud's here now. I got to stay. I can't. What is that? Is that a man? That's interesting right there. Is that a river? See, it's hard not to get caught up in all this. Where is Timbuktu? Let's go to Timbuktu. It's right here. It's on a river's edge. Where's Timbuktu? Here? That's Timbuktu. Now you know. Timbuktu. What's that? A school? That looks like it's got a like a little... what do you call that? Not auditorium, but... Asian culture. I think that Atlantis predates... I think what you had is tribes that didn't go... Oh, 3:30 your time. So you must mean PM, right? What's that building? That's some weird stuff right there. That's weird. They don't have... they have all these circular fences going around. And here's a... there's a traffic circle. Do we have a... We don't have any blue lines in here, do we? Yeah, there's no street view in Timbuktu. There's not even little dots. Like sometimes people do some 360 degree photo shoots and you don't see one anywhere. Let's see if we can find it if we get in closer maybe. What's that blue thing? What is that blue? Shopping mall in Timbuktu. What do you think they could shop for in Timbuktu? Just bizarre, right? Lots of sand. Lots and lots of sand. I wouldn't mind touring that area. They're in the middle of nowhere there. Well, they're right by the river, so it's not like they're destitute. They can get water. Look at that. Now that... Okay, wait a minute. See, we need to get rid of these roads. Okay, it looks different now. All right, never mind. The way it looked was like one of those ancient rivers. It still kind of looks like an ancient river, but it's just a road. You stay where you're born. You don't have to adapt. You're too poor to go anywhere. I mean, I can imagine. The question is why do people stay there? It's a different culture entirely, so the idea of walking away from it and the repercussions you have for walking away from it are completely different. I always see these lines and wonder if they're any type of ancient canal. And we already talked about that. I won't get back into it. This whole shore, this whole ancient shore, I'd like to know more about it. Oh yeah, this is another thing I saw is this discoloration. So that's sand covering up ancient flood basins. So here's the sand and here's the ancient flood basin showing through some river. Is that a river? It wants to be a river. It's like a little valley of trees. Another sign of an ancient canal that was made by intelligent. Look at that. What's this? This is interesting. What are those, cows? They're drinking water. If they're not cows, what are they? Some type of animal. And you also get these, I guess those are roads, right? That's bizarre. That's quite a few. If there's the cows, I mean, you're seeing them everywhere. You're seeing a bunch over here. It looks like a whole herd of them right in there. What is going on here? And at first I thought that was a mountain, but maybe that's just a flat area. It just looks like a mountain. It's just, maybe there's a bunch of cow shit. Are those watering holes? It seems like there's trees. That's a tree. That's a tree. That's a tree. We can see it. Maybe. Wow. I wish it was a little higher resolution. Let's go down here. Can't see anything. This is like that little. I already followed it, and we found those cows. Somebody's living in there. Oh, here we are, Ethan. Cows in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Not entirely strange. I'm just looking at this discoloration between the sand on top of that. Oh, that's how I found it, because I saw this road. Don't even chat, Ethan. You have to watch this video from the beginning. I'm just ending it up. I got tired. I've been talking for 2 hours. Dhar Tichitt. We've been talking for 2 hours about Dhar Tichitt. This looks like it's... That right there, I think, is a thing that's real, natural. So, Ethan, you don't have anything to argue about. Where these things actually grow in these grid lines. They grow in straight lines. And they create stuff like that. It looks like, when you look at it, that it's definitely man structured. But, I don't know. It's kind of almost too convenient. But, yeah, I would say that that's natural, believe it or not. I'm saying that's natural. I'm not... Wow, here's more watering holes. What are they? There's more cows. This is... What's that? Oh, a house? We're just killing 3 more minutes there, Ethan. Don't say bye. Say what? I said don't chat until you watch the whole video. No, of course you can chat. Look at that. Oh, there's a canal. Ethan, that's a man-made canal right there for sure. Boom. We're at the edge of Atlantis here. This is an ancient shoreline right here. So that's why I say that's a canal going into the ancient shoreline. It's pretty crazy. Look at that. This looks so old, though. This might be pre-Atlantis for sure, eh? Look at that. There's definitely a canal going into the... Definitely a canal. Look at that. If that's not a canal, what else is it? Straight line going pre-river, getting... That's a canal right there. It's all filled in. There it is right there. And then it's going off the shoreline. That's how this thing got created. That right there is an ancient canal, for sure. Look how straight that is. You'll see some other ones. I mean, in this line, it cuts through and it cuts out here. So it's before these shorelines were created. I'm telling you that too. That's 100% straight. You don't get a straighter line than that. Ethan, if you're still there, take a look at these shorelines. These canals up here. Okay, I want to show you these 2 canals. Now, this is 20 miles long. And it happens to be... Okay, that got a little bit... I mean, there's water damage, right? And it happened to be perfectly parallel to this canal, which is also 20 miles long. It gets a little tweaky. It's not a perfectly straight line. This one up here, though, when you get up here, you can see very clearly that it still is a nice straight canal going for 20 miles straight, parallel to that other one. Now, this one is... not so clear in all places. But I am now just past 2 hours. This is probably my longest video that I've ever done. So I'm going to stop it here. And I will be happy to read the comments. Well, it's a funny thing about live streams. When you're doing live streams on YouTube, you have to... That's why I went through all the steps to do the thumbnail. By the way, where's my thumbnail? Well, I'll worry about that later. And do the... kind of the title. You have to choose a title. You have to make a thumbnail. And nowadays, you have to make sure your monetization's turned on. I'm drinking Indonesian coffee right now. It's actually half Vietnamese, half Indonesian coffee, believe it or not. And I can talk about the recipe later. Fault lines. I don't know about fault lines. You know, fault lines occur underneath the ground, and what's happening up on top is like what's left. You're getting sharp mountains. You're getting uneven lines. You're not getting perfectly straight lines. I'm not saying... I lived on the San Andreas Fault, and if you go visit the fault lines down in San Andreas area, it's this badlands with jagged, sharp, rugged mountains. And this, to me, looks like a consistently straight canal that was heading 20 miles in one direction. It disappears after some time into the dirt. I'm not saying that it goes anywhere. You can't find it. But it definitely... I mean, it doesn't have the attributes of like a river. And it's like, in my opinion, was fed by waters from the Taman Reset. So people could travel through these canals, in my opinion. All right. Thank you very much, all. Have a good one. Yeah, Taster's Choice. I wouldn't say it's Taster's Choice, but it's close. It's a Vietnamese Taster's Choice. Oh my God, Taster's Choice. You're showing your age there. It's a Taster's Choice. What's that other one called? That was so old. It was kind of an instant coffee that they used to drink, and it was... Oh, I forgot that commercial. If you're as old as me, you'll remember it. Well, you say road, but it's a ditch. It's a canal. I mean, a road is a road. This is a ditch. I think you can even use the tool here. 574, 575. It's saying it's only a foot difference. I don't think so. I mean, it's so straight. And even if it is a foot. And the funny thing about it is, look, it's right next to this cliff. And it's down there. You can see the river. What was the... Sorry about the burp. What was the name of that little can that you would get and you would drink it for special occasions with somebody? I think that these things are canals. And look, it even goes across here where it's in like the Badlands area. All right, I'm just recovering from a little bit of a asthmatic episode, I think. All right. Yeah, this is some amazing area right here. I'd love to know what happened here. This shoreline shows that something happened way up here, like a major flood came through. I'd like to see I should double check this one. Because you've got the top of the plateau there, the shoreline, and then you've got another shoreline here. This is the older shoreline. This is first, and that's second. And then the water was gone. So first, second, I mean, that's why it's all rugged and looks like it's all aged. This mega breccia was worked. Man was in there. I don't know. I think Randall Carlson was saying some of this is 100,000 years old, worked by man 100,000 years ago. I'd like to clarify and get some... whoa, cool. There you go. I'd like to clarify and get some statement on that. Could there have been a civilization in here? There is now. Some amazing, amazing landscapes. Okay, I'm outie. Have a good one. Thank you very much. I'll double check and comment below. Thank you. Bye-bye.